What's up everyone? Welcome back to my 4-Star School YouTube channel. In today's lesson, we are going to make these food delivery apps. First, I'm going to give you a quick demo what we're going to build after you finish this tutorial. And this is the home page of these food delivery apps. And we have a category list. For example, this recommended popular noodles and pizza. When I click these recommended, I'm going to show a list of dishes, right? And when I click this popular, there are different kind of dishes show up. It actually works, unlike the video I made before, and also the same as those indicator are on the bottom left corner. When I click this popular, the second indicator we're going to have this amber color. So when I click these noodles, the third one will be like a highlight, right? And this is for our home page. And for our detailed food page, when I click this soba soup, I'm going to navigate to this detailed food page. Okay, and it can be scrolled, right? We can click this go back button to go back to the previous page, and we can choose different dishes, right? And also we can check different category. This is tomato chicken. The reason there's no item in these noodles because I just written an empty list, so it's not going to show anything. Same as this pizza. Okay, that's all for this demo. And if you are new to my channel, feel free to reach out to my channel page. There you will be find a Dart programming language tutorial, Flutter tutorial, as well as this Flutter UI from scratch tutorial. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, sum up my content, and open the notification so you won't miss out the latest Flutter tutorial. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. First, we're going to create a Flutter project. So let's open our terminal and cd to our project workspace. In there, we're using this Flutter create command to create a food delivery apps, and hit enter. Just wait a few seconds. You will be successed. Okay, I think it's success. Then we can open our Visual Studio Code. Here we select this open. We click this open folder. So find our food delivery apps and hit this open. And we're going to do some project setup. So first, create an assets folder, and I'm going to drop these images we're going to use in this project, and open this pub specific YAML file. In line 48, we're going to uncomment this line, replace it to access images, right? Images, and hit save. And we're going to wait for a few seconds. Okay, I think it's a set. Then we can go back to this main.dar, and so I think first going to create some folder. So the first one is our screens folder, and the models folder, also the constants folder, and the comment widgets folder. And in this screen, we're going to create two folders. First is our home, and the second one is for detail. And we're going to create a home.dar under this home folder, and it should be a stateless widget. And I just call it a home page. and remove the constructor for now and import the library. I replace this container to scaffold. This should be the body attribute, and this should be a center widget. In center widget have a child attribute. We're going to replace just a very simple text, indicate this is our home page, right? And hit save and back to our main.dar, and we're going to delete everything under this line 30. Let's delete everything and replace this my home page to home page we create just now. And I think we could remove this sim data and change this Flutter demo to food deliver apps. Okay, and hit save, and we can hit this run button. So make sure you have open your Android emulator, which will show in here. Indicate we already opened our Pixel 4 emulator. Then I can hit this run button. So for the first time, it will take a little bit longer, and we just need to wait for this app installed. After a few minutes, you will be able to see this home page show on our emulator. And there's one more thing we need to do. We're going to hide this status bar and also this show debug banner. So let's find this material app. So we have an attribute which is called debug banner. Show debug check banner. We're going to set to false. And also we're going to hide the status bar. So it should be inside this build method. We can access to this system Chrome. System Chrome dot I think it's called system UI overlay style, and we can pass a style. And here I'm going to use system and UI overlay style. And in there I can find this status bar color. I can set to transparent, and let's save. Okay, I think we remove these status bar and also the debug banner, so we can start from this point. Okay, let's open our design file. So in here, I'm going to divide this home page into several sections. So first is this custom app bar, and then is this a restaurant information, and then is this category dishes. Okay, so first let's define our primary color, and it should be this color, and that's back to these constants. I'm going to create a file. I just call it colors.dar, and here I declare our primary color and our background color. Same as here, the background color is this little bit gray, right? Because this dish's color should be a white color. So let's for our app color. So let's save and close it. Back to the design file. And in here, I consider to use a stateful widget for our home page, because in this time I'm going to keep track of the index, and I'm going to show a different item in here, right? So I'm going to change our stateless widget here, stateless widget to a stateful widget. So here we can remove everything because we don't have anything inside this home page. So we can use create a stateful widget instead. I'm going to call it home page and remove the constructor. import a library. We could still replace this with a scaffold. We have a body attribute, and here we can still place our center widget with this home page, right? And hit save. Yeah, the page still stay the same because we didn't change any layout for it. So let's create another folder. I just call it widget, and we're going to place some custom widget for this home page. So first I'm going to declare some variable for our home page. So the first one is this select index. So by default it should be 0, which means the first item gets selected. So, and another one is I'm going to use like a page view for those items. I'm going to use a page view. So when I click different category, it will show different pages. And for this entire body, I'm going to use a column widget. So let's make it column, and we have a children attribute inside this column, and I'm going to set this cross alignment to start, because you notice you will align in the start, right? So I'm going to set this cross alignment to start, and then give this custom add bar, right? So I'm going to implement this one. Also, we need to set the background color for our scaffold from our colors.dar. We defined it before. So let's create this custom add bar. Let's check this design file, and you will notice this custom add bar going to show in the detail page as well. So I'm going to make it a common widget. So I will create a custom add bar under this widget folder, which is under this lib folder. It's not inside this home folder. I'm going to create a file. I just call it custom add bar.dar, and it should be a stateless widget. And I will call it custom add bar, and import the library. So first I'm going to declare some attribute. So first is this icon, right? Icon is different, and also when I click the icon inside this detail page, it will be navigate back to our home page. So I'm going to declare function attribute, which is I can trigger our callback. So first it should be icon data. Data is our left icon, and also the icon data for our right icon, and then is our function. It's a nullable function callback, because this one don't have any like a callback, but this button have, so I'm going to make it nullable. And let's implement it is constructor. So it should be this dot left icon and this dot right icon, and also for this callback, going to make it a name parameter should be this dot left callback. Okay, so and then for this build method, first we're going to give these add bar a padding, right? So let's give some padding. I'm going to use edge inset star only. So I going to give the top padding should be use this median query to get the height of the status bar. Should be context dot padding dot top, and also the left should be 25 and right should be 25 as well, and it is for our padding. For the child, I'm going to use a row widget. It should be our first row and the second row. We're going to use a space between to alignment those items. It should be a row widget. I will have this children attribute, and also we're going to set it is main axis alignment to space between. Okay, and for our first child should be icon, but it's inside the container because we're going to give it like a circle shape. So we're going to use this decoration. We use box decoration. For its shape should be a box shape dot circle, and also color just white color. And for it is child should be just icon. We're using left icon. Right, and also you notice we need to give some padding for our container. So let's say some padding for our container. We're going to use edge inset dot from left to right. Could be 16, 8, 8, 8. Okay. And that's for our first icon. And for our second one, it probably the same. And it's another container. And have the padding as well. Using these edge insets. Use this 8. And also we have a decoration. I think probably going to be the same, so I just copy. And it should be a right icon for our second one. And also we're going to use a gesture detector widget to wrap our left icon. Because when I click this button in this detail page, you are able to go back to our home page. So I'm going to wrap our first widget with another gesture detector. And we have this untapped attribute. So I'm going to first let's check this left callback. First I'm going to check this callback is not equals to null. If it not equals null, I'm going to call this left callback. It should be null. Otherwise, just return null. So I think that's all for this custom app bar, and we can save it. And we're going to use in here. So let's import the library. Okay, I think I make some mistake here. So let's back to this custom app bar. Here should be just using this all and set to A. Let's save. Okay, now it's centered. And also we could refactor it. So just extra another method. I just call it build icon. Right, and we can just pass our parameter. I just call it icon data icon. So it should be a widget. It doesn't matter. So here I just use icon here, right? And for this one, I could place our left icon and also place our right icon. Okay, and let's save. Basically it will stay the same, but we refactor it. So you don't need to copy your code, so we can write a clean code in this case. Okay, that's for our custom app bar in our home page. I think you could use it when we actually implement our detail page. Okay, and let's back to our home.dar. And next I'm going to implement this one, which is the information about the restaurant. For the restaurant, we're going to first create our restaurant model. So let's create a file under this model there. I just call it restaurant.dar, and it should be a class. Just call it restaurant. For the attribute, so I think we have the name, the wait time, and the distance. This should be a label and icon and the description and also the score. And the most important part, which this I want call it a menu, which is a list of different dishes. So let's implement it. So first is the name and wait time, distance, and label, logo, and description. And also the score and a map of string should be a key, and value should be a list of food. And I'm going to create this food class. It should be a manual, right? Food just means those items. Okay. Then I'm going to create constructor restaurant. Should be this dot name, this dot wait time, this dot distance, this dot label, and this dot logo, and this dot description, this dot score, this dot manual. Okay, let's save. And then we're going to create this food model. So I'm going to create another file, call it food.dar. So inside this food.dar, we're going to create our food model, so which include our image, this food name, the wait time, and also the score, the calorie, and the price, and the quantity, and ingredient, right? And also the about. Okay, so let's create a class. I just call it food, and it contain the image URL and also the description and the name and wait time and the score and car and price, quantity, and also a list of map, which is a string, and also another string. It contains ingredient. Also above bow and a boolean, which is the height light. The reason I have this boolean because you'll see if we set to true, this one we will have the yellow color. Okay, and let's implement. I think I implement this constructor. First one is image and this dot description, this dot name, this dot wait time, and this dot score, and this dot car, and this dot price, this dot quantity, this dot ingredients, this dot above, dot highlight. So for the highlight, I'm going to use the name parameter. So by default, you will have a false. Okay, let's save, and we can import. See, okay, then we can import this food inside this restaurant. So okay, and save, and let's back to design file. I'm going to create a static method to generate a list of food which show in our these recommended and popular. So let's back to this food, and I'm going to write two static methods. So the first one will generate a recommended food, which will show in here, and another static method is this generate a popular food, which will show in here. So for those two, I just make it empty list, so it didn't show anything. And for our food, you see we have this image and a name and a description and the label and the price and quantity, and also the ingredient. Right, we have an ingredient name and an image. That's basically for the food. So because the first one we're going to highlight, it is label, so we set this highlight to true, and we can save it. That's for our food. So we're going to write a static method for our restaurant as well. And for the restaurant, since we only have one restaurant here, so it's really simple. So it just return a single restaurant with its name, a wait time, a distance, label, description, and also those two food list. So this one will generate a list of recommended food, and this one will generate a list of popular food, as you'll see in here. Okay, so let's save. We're going to close those two model and back to our home.dar, and we can start from this point. Let's create another file, and I'm going to call it restaurant info. So let's create restaurant info.tar. It should be a stateless widget. I will just call it restaurant info, and we can remove the constructor for now and import the library. So for its container, so first just place very simple text, just call it restaurant info and save it. For in here under this custom app bar, we're going to import our restaurant info, okay, and let's save. You're able to see the text show on our screen here, and we could customize it a little bit. So first we're going to get our restaurant object, so I just call it restaurant, and you will from our static method. Okay, we need to import library. We could use this generate restaurant method, and we get this restaurant object. And for this container, I'm going to set margin top edge inset only. For top, I'm going to give it 40, and also we have a padding. We use edge inset symmetric, so we're using horizontal set to 25. Right, for it is a child. In this case, I'm going to use a column widget, and inside our column widget, we have a row widget, right? So this will be our column widget, first column and second column, and we have a first row and second row. Okay, so I will place this text widget with our column widget, and we have this child attribute, and we have a first row. Okay, so in this first row, it should be a space between, right? So I'm going to set it is main axis alignment to space between. Okay, and we have these children. In children, we have a left column and right column. So for the left column, should be two text. So, but we also need to set it is cross axis alignment. Should be a start. So change it is cross alignment. Cross alignment. Oh, sorry, it should inside this column. Cross axis alignment set to start. For it is children, we have first text, which is a restaurant name, and we have another size box. I'll give it high 10, and also another text. It should be low C. Should be a wait time and distance, and also the label. Yeah, so I think it should another row, right? So for it is child, for its text, it should be a restaurant wait time. Another text is a restaurant distance. Also a restaurant label. Okay, and we can save it for now. And we could customize it a little bit. So for our restaurant name, I'm going to change its style. Change the style using text style, and I'm going to increase its font size to 24, and also change the font weight to bold. And let's save. Okay, now it looks much similar. So for this distance, I'm going to wrap this text widget with our container, because I'm going to give it a rounded corner. So wrap it with a container and give it padding using this edge inset.org set to 5, and also we have a decoration using this box decoration. Going to change its color using gray dot with opacity set to 0.4, and also the border radius. I'm going to use border radius dot circular border radius circular, going to set to 5, and also going to style this text using text style. Change its color to white. Okay, let's save. Okay, now it's much similar. And then for this restaurant distance, so first going to give it some space. So we're using the size box. Give it weight set to 10, and also style this distance text using the text style. Going to change the font size to 16, and also font weight to font weight bold, and color change to gray with opacity 0.4 as well. Let's save. Okay, now it's similar, so we could do send for this label. Just copy this line and paste it here. Okay, let's save. And also we need to have a size box. Okay, I think very good for our first row. So let's create our second row, and this is our first row, which is the colon. So we're going to make our logo under this column. So I'm going to use this clip rect widget. So I'm going to set it is border radius. I'm going to use clip rect border radius dot circular. Going to set to 50, and also for its child I'm going to use image access, and we have a restaurant dot, I think should be our logo, and going to give it a weight 80. Okay, let's save. Now you'll be able to see this icon. Okay, it's pretty good, huh, for our first column. And then we're going to create the second column. So let's back to here. So this is our first column. Okay, scroll down. Okay, after this row. So first, I think I need to give it some space. So I use size box. Height set to just 5 is enough. And then we're going to make another row. Okay, so because you know this is our first row and this should be our second row, and we're going to use this space between again. Also we have this children attribute. So first should be our text, description text. Okay, restaurant dot description. Okay, and also we have see. Okay. Also we're going to style it and using text style. Change font size to 16. Okay, let's save for now. You're able to see our description text here, and also think. Okay, and then for our icon, so under this text I'm going to create another row widget. and using this children attribute. So first is our icon star outlined. Going to change its color to a primary color, and then it's the text widget. So text widget, just let's see, it's a restaurant score, and restaurant dot score. Okay, restaurant score, and I think we need to style it. So using text style, going to change its font size to 18, and also font weight to bold. Okay, let's save. Okay, so I think this start outline, yeah, this one is what I want, and also give a little bit space, size box width set to 15, and save. Okay, now it's very similar like this prototype. Okay, so I think we finished this restaurant info. So next I'm going to implement this food list, and then I'm going to implement this food item, and as well as this food list view. So let's back to our home.dar, and I'm going to create another file. I just call it food list.dar, right? And it should be a stay list widget. Call it food list, which is here. So first going to import a library and declare some attribute I'm going to use. So first is the select index. It will be passed from its parent, and also function, which is the callback function. Then I'm going to implement this constructor. Should be selected, and also this callback. And then since we need to use the information stored in the restaurant, and we could also, I think, okay, we could pass it as well, restaurant. Okay, this restaurant, and then we go back to, so here I just can list. Okay, I'm going to use it in our home. So under this restaurant info, and I'm going to return food list. So first the select item index going to pass, and then it should be a set stay method. Set stay. Okay. Set stay should be a, and going to first you will receive an index. Going to change to index. Okay. See. index from here. Okay, so I'm going to pass this setState method, and then it's a restaurant, so restaurant will be get from here, so it's a final restaurant going to equal restaurant and import library dot generate restaurant. So then I pass this restaurant to our food list. Okay, and let's save. This is for our home.r. And then we go back to our food list, and here, so we can get the category equals a restaurant dot menu dot key to list. Okay, and then let's see, I should be a container with a height, so because I'm going to use a list view, so I must give a height for the container, and also give some padding for this container. I'm using this edge inset symmetric, and vertical set to 30, and replace this with our list view dot separated. And for these, I need to change its scroll direction using this axis horizontal, and also we have a padding using this edge inset symmetric horizontal, change to 25. For it is item builder, I'm going to return a container. Also, first you will receive context and index. So we're going to return a gesture detector, because we are going to implement its on tap attribute. Alright, so when it on tap, I'm going to call this callback, which we pass here, callback, and also we have but we need to pass the index, and also we have this child. Going to use a container, so we can change its declaration, box declaration, because this one we have a rounded border, so using this box declaration, going to set its border radius using border radius dot circular, going to set to 20, and also the color. First, we're going to check the selected equal to index. If equal, I'm going to return the primary color. Otherwise, just colors.y. Okay, for this container, we also are going to get some padding. I'm going to use this edge inset symmetric for horizontal, for vertical, set to 10, horizontal, set to 15. Okay, and next is this separator builder. It should be just size box. Weight set to 20, and this item count will be category dot length. But for this container, we also have a child. It should be just a text, which I'm going to use text widget. It should be a category dot index, and going to style it. So using text style, make it border, so change it font weight to bold. Okay, I know it's a lot, so let's save. And you're going to see this one, right? Similar like this prototype. Okay, so when I click, going to change, right? Because we're passing this this callback, which we change it is select index, right? So we can change it. Okay, that's for this food list, right? And next we're going to implement food item, and then implement this entire page view. Back to our home.dar. Since we're going to use a page view, so I'm going to create a page controller, because page controller. Okay, and so I'm going to use this page controller first for this when I click those button, I'll also trigger this page view to jump to other page. So I think I'm going to pass the function here as well. So after the set state, I'm going to use this page controller dot jump to page, because we have this index, right? So we're going to jump to the index as well. So let's save. And I'm going to create another widget after this food list, so which is expanded widget. We have a child, and it's a food list view we're going to create. So this food list view will receive a select, and also the method change the index. So method here receive an index, and we're going to use this set state, change its index, and after this method, I think we're going to pass page controller as well, because I'm going to use a page view in this food list. Okay, I think those three is enough. Okay, let's save, and I'm going to create this food list view. Let's create a food list view .tar, and it should be a stay list widget, and I'm going to call it food list view, and import library. I'm going to define some attribute. So the first one is the index, and the second one is the function, callback function to change the index, callback, and the third one is the page controller, because I'm going to change the page, and also last one should be our restaurant. Okay, so I think we need pass one more attribute, which is the restaurant. Okay, after this page controller, I'm going to pass this as well. Okay, so let's implement this constructor, this dot select, and this dot callback page controller, and also this dot restaurant, and this should be just a text widget. Okay, going to list view. Okay, let's save. Okay, we're going to import library. Okay, let's save. I'm going to see our text shown here. Okay, we can start from this point. So first we're going to find this category list. So we're going to use this restaurant. To clear category. That should be small letter category. restaurant menu key to list. Okay, for this container, I'm going to get with padding for horizontal, symmetric horizontal set to 25, and then for its trial, I'm going to use page view. It should be a page view. Inside this page view, going to pass the controller, which is our page controller, and also on this page change, we're going to receive index. I'm going to call this callback, trigger this callback, and pass the index as well. And for its children, we have a category, right? We have category. You can access to because this category actually is a list, and so see, it's a list. So for it is manual, we have a list of food. Right, so the key will be the string. So it's like our category, and we can access to, because it is a map, we can access to it is list of food. So first we're using this category map, going to return, so list view separator. Okay, in this separator, going to, for it is icon builder, for its item builder, and should receive a context index as well, and I'm going to return gesture detector. So when I click, I'm going to back to this detail page, but we can leave it to our next video. So here I just return a food item. It should be a food item. So the food item will receive a food. Okay, let's create our food item .dar. So for this one, we're going to receive a food item. So we could pass our food, and how are we going to access our food? We're going to use this restaurant menu, which is a map, right? We can use category, which is our key. We could use this selected and index. So this one is our food. It's a little bit complex. So this one we can access to our food. Okay, so we're going to create stateless the widget, include food item. So first, going to create a food. Going to implement this food constructor using this food and import library. Okay, for here as well. So here just a text widget. So we could access to the food. We can just print its name. Okay, so and we import library here. Okay, so we finish this item builder, and then we're going to, for this separator, it's very simple, just using the size box, right? So size box set high to 15, and item count, we're going to use the restaurant menu, and we can access to category selected. This is our key, and we could use this key to access to our list of food, but it should be a nullable length In this way we could access to our list of food. So this one is iterator, so we're going to convert it to a list. Okay, and we're going to remove this square bracket. So let's save. There you see we have this food shown here, right? Popular only have 2, and we don't have any food in these noodles. Okay, so I think this part is a little bit complex because we're using a map inside. I think it's this inside a map, so this part should be a very confused. But I highly recommend you to watch it many times so you can know what I'm doing here. Okay, so inside this list view, I'm going to remove its padding using this set to 0. Okay, now it's good. So next, going to implement this food item. Okay, let's back to food item .dar. So in this, and we're going to set height for the container. Change it to 110, and also we give some border radius. So we're using this box decoration. Change the color to white, and also border radius, going to use a border radius circular set to 20. And then for its child, I'm going to consider to use a row widget, right? And this is our first row, this one is our second row, and the second row should, can be another column widget. So first I'm going to change this to row of a child. So first row will be our container, and we have a padding. Going to use this edge incest or, and 5 is enough, and set width to 110 and height 110 as well. And we have a child. Going to use image.ss because we have this food object. We can use food image URL, right? And also we have these feet. We're going to use box feet. We can use feet height and feet weight because we have the same height and width, right? And we can save. Now you're able to see we have our food image shown here, and then we're going to implement our second row. So I'm going to use expanded widget for this child, and first it's another container because I'm going to change it is padding. So I'm using edge incest or only, change top to 20 and depth to 10, height to 10 as well. And for this trial, just a column widget, right? And inside this column widget, we have another row. This is our column widget, and we have another row. And for our column widget, we're going to set its cross alignment to start. And for its children, we have another row. And this row, we have a main axis alignment, should be a space between here, right? So, okay. And we have a children attribute. So first, just a food name should be a text widget. We have food name, right? And we can style it. And also we have icon. I can just use icon start arrow forward iOS and outline it, and give it size change to 50. Okay, let's save. And we need to style the text, so let's change using text style. Using this text style, change font size to 26. Okay, 16, sorry, and change the font weight to bold, and the height set to 1.5. Okay, let's save. Okay, now it's much better, so let's implement our second column. Okay, so after this one, I'm going to give it a little bit space using this size box, change height to 5, and implement our okay, I think should be our text. Okay. It's a food description. Okay, also need to style it using our text style. Okay, for this, we're going to first we need to check food is highlight, so food is highlight. Okay, sorry. If it's highlight, we're going to use a primary color, otherwise just a gray color with opacity set to 0.8. Also change height to 1.5. Okay, save. Okay, I think this space should be after. Okay, now it's pretty good. So for our last column, should be another row. Okay, using this children. First one is our text, just for this $sign. Also need to style it using text style. So we're going to change its font size to 10 and also font weight to bold. Okay, dot bold. This is for our first text. Copy. And for our second text should be a food price, right? Food price, and I think it should be much bigger. Okay, let's save. Okay, now it's better. I think we finish this part, and when I click, you see it actually can change this page because we're using a page view. Those menu can be changed. And so next I'm going to implement this indicator, so we're going to change as well. So here I'm going to use a library which is called smooth page indicator, and let's install it. Copy this dependence and find our pub/cbc YAML file under this Cupertino icon. Hit save, so we can import and find our home.dat file. On the top, we're going to import this smooth page indicator, and then we can use it. Alright, so but we're going to customize it. Okay, so I'm going to find this one under this expanded. So first I'm going to create another container. I'll give it hi sexy, and also for it is pending, I'm going to use edge inset symmetric horizontal set to 25. Okay, and for its child, I'm going to use a small page indicator. Right, so I'm going to customize it. For its controller, we're going to pass our page controller, and then we have this count. Right, we're going to use restaurant annual length, and for its effect, we're going to use a customizable effect. So for this customizable effect, and I'm going to first implement this dot decoration. For the dot decoration, we could use dot decoration. Inside this decoration, we have a width set to 8 and height set to 8 as well. Then we change its color, so using colors dot gray with opacity set to 0.5. Then we change its border radius to use border radius dot circular, change to 8. Okay, that's for the dot, and we can change this active as well. For the active, I'm going to use dot decoration as well. But for this one, I'm going to make it a little bigger for height and width, and also color change to background active. So for its border, sorry. The reason I changed this to background color because inside this one, it's not a white. It's very similar like our background. So I used our background color, and then we have a border radius and to set to 10 as well. Okay, and we have a dot border. This one we can set to our primary color, right? We have color, we're going to use our primary color, and we have a padding set to 2, and also width set to 2 as well. Okay, so let's save. Now you're able to see we have this one, right? When I change, we're going to change as well. Okay, and there's one more thing, I think. So I'm going to write this on dot click. So I think it's inside this one. So we have this on dot click, because currently I click this one, it don't have any effect, right? So I'm going to implement this method. We receive an index, going to use our page controller, jump to page, pass this index. Okay, let's save. Now we're able to change the page. Okay, pretty nice, huh? I think we finished this page, this the view. Yeah, pretty good. So I think the last one is this floating action button. Yeah, that one will be very easy. So let's find our scaffold. It's here. Okay, we could have this floating action button. Okay, we're going to create another floating action button. This on press, which is required, but we left it empty for now. And also the background color, so we're going to change to our primary color. And the elevation, probably 2 is enough. And also the child, so we're going to use material icon. Should be icons, shopping, back, outlined it. Okay, and also for its color, I'm going to use black color. I also change its size, just 30. Okay, let's save. Okay, now it's pretty similar here. Okay, I think that's all for this home page. I hope you follow this tutorial and learn how to make these complex UI. For this detail page, I'm going to put it in our second part of the video. So please subscribe to my channel, sum up my content, because it really took me a lot of time and effort to make those tutorials for the beginners. Okay, thanks for watching. I will see you in next video.